Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter, and today I'm going to share with you my most extravagant splurge of the stamp show I went to this weekend. I bought the Mega Bounce from Impression Obsession, and I'm so glad I did because I watched some really great demos there, and they showed me something really cool called layered backgrounds, and I realized not only can I use it with their stamps and their Mega Bounce, but also stamps I already have. So I used to be stamping my large background stamps with the edge of a candle that I had, this big glass candle, but it was less than convenient. So I'm going to show you how to use this and how to do layered backgrounds. But if you don't have this, you can still do layered backgrounds with the mounts that you do have. So let's take a look. I'm going to show you how to make this card. You can't really see the background too well there because I kind of covered it up with all my awesome stamps here, which were by Local King rubber stamps. I showed you the technique on how to make this this multicolored stamped image yesterday, and now I'm going to show you how to make a really cool background. So check it out. Alright, this is the Mega Bounce by Impression Obsession, and you can see that it's slightly curved, kind of like the rocket blocks you've seen me use. I've been thinking about getting one of these for a couple of years, and after seeing the demos at the show, I decided to give it a go. It's kind of expensive, which is why I've held off for so long. It's $25, but they had a special deal with the mountains and backgrounds at the show, so I went ahead and bought that. But what I love is that I can use it with any background stamp I have, and also I could take a bunch of my clear stamps red mounted and put them all over this background and then in like a pattern, and then stamp big backgrounds that way. But the thing I thought that was really cool that I saw at the stamp show was the layered backgrounds that they were doing. So to load the stamp on my block, I'm just going to roll my mount right across there. I didn't clean it because I'm going to use the same colors again. And I'm going to start with this solid pattern. It's a solid chevron. You can probably see here because the light's shining on it that most of this is rubber that is going to stamp. And other than that, you'll just see little fine lines of my background of my cardstock showing through. Got to ink it up really good here. The more solid images are a little bit harder to stamp. You have to give more force when you work with a more solid image. There, that's better. Alright, so now I have my base layer, and it's done in a lighter color, because if I did it with a really dark color, you wouldn't be able to see the other layers. Now this stamp here is by Lost Coast, and it's also one I got at the stamp show. It's a nice chicken wire background, and it is not as wide. It's smaller than my background piece here. I'm just going to press it against here to make sure it's all there good. And so I'm going to have to stamp it a couple times to fill the background. It's not that big of a deal because I can cover up any seams that I get when I'm stamping just by, you know, placing an embellishment there. So you just kind of roll it when you stamp. See how nice that came out? The more open your design is, the easier it is to stamp too. There. I'm just going to try to eyeball it and line it up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be perfect. Okay, so now I've got a background with a chicken wire. Now what I thought was really cool was that the person that was demonstrating, I don't remember her name, but she would just put these crazy patterns together and layer them, and they just looked really neat. And it reminded me of some of the background paper that I buy. And this is a large swirl, and this is by Impression Obsession. And I'm going to ink it up with some dye ink. I'm using Taken with Teal by Stampin' Up. I don't know if it's quite as dark as I'd like it, but that's what I did on the sample card, so I figured I'd stick with it. And this will cover the entire card, so I'm just going to give it one thing across. I'm going to bring it up here. Hopefully you can see the detail there. Just something fun and new to try with your backgrounds. I like to also ink the edges, and I've got my little color box stylus, which is what I have. I love the little foam tip applicators. They're probably very similar to the Tim Holtz ones, but I already had these, so no need to go buy something new if what I have already works. And then I can simply layer on the stamped panels that I've already prepared. I'm just using Staples matte cardstock, but you could experiment with glossy or other colors or whatever. You can even stamp on pattern paper, but I really think the layering of the different backgrounds is really fun. But then I just cut apart this fence here and put it across and stamped a little sentiment. And then I put it on just a craft card base. So that's how I did it. Here again is a finished card. Oh, and to do this little fringe strip, I simply took my fringe scissors and a little bit of green cardstock, and I just made little slits all the way across, maybe about 1/4 of an inch, if that. And then I just trimmed it off with my paper cutter and adhered it to the bottom of my card with a little hot glue. And I popped up the little mailbox with a foam square. So there you have it. Try layering the background stamps you have. It's a lot of fun, and it will give you a totally new look with the supplies you already have. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting!